Hey everybody, welcome back to Begin Again. You know, if you've been following my videos, you know that last summer here in Texas, the weather was absolutely brutal. Had several races where we were running in sort of 100, 105 degree temperatures, and that's ambient. You know, it doesn't include the heat coming off the pavement or the driving suit or anything like that. So it was really tough. And in one race, I actually lost about 10 pounds in water weight, and that's after drinking 6 bottles of Gatorade and half a gallon of water. It was no joke. And then I went off to Las Vegas and did our big film up there and realized that the races that I've been driving in out at North Texas Kartways, you know, its final is 15 laps on a half-mile track. And the final for the shifters in Las Vegas was 25 laps on a 3/4 mile track. And you know, I'd hate to finish 50th, and there were 50 entries in that class. I would hate to finish 50th simply because I was just out of shape. And I saw some guys literally get out of their carts after a race there in Vegas, and the paramedics had to tend to them. And so that really sent a message to me and convinced me I needed to do something. So we filmed a series of videos about just getting in shape and what do I need to do in order to race more efficiently and effectively in the heat of Texas, or more importantly even when I go to Las Vegas next October to drive in Rock Vegas. So what I did was I went and enlisted a friend of mine, Brenna Hennings, who is a sports performance coach. She is the president and founder of Move Functional Training, and we're going to go to Brenna and get some tips. We're actually going to do 4 videos. First one, we're just going to kind of introduce Brenna and kind of what she's learned about what race drivers go through from a physical standpoint, and then we're going to have another one about training with her recommendations of how to train to be a racing driver, and then the third video will be all about how to recover after a race, and then we're going to do a special video about how to stretch out and just keep yourself limber to prevent injuries, not only when you're working out but on the racetrack as well. So anyway, we're on our way to see Brenna now. Thanks for joining us. I think this is going to be super helpful to all of us. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Brenna has to say. Thanks for joining us. So Brenna, thanks for some time today. I was thinking about it on the drive over here, and I realized that I've known you since you were about 13. And for those of you who are wondering, Brenna and her family are dear family friends with my family. And so we've known the mom and dad, and her brother Chase is my son's best friend. And so there's a lot of connection here. And so you've gone to college, yep. You've got multiple degrees all around the exercise and physiology kind of business, kinesiology. How did you get involved in that?
Yeah, so cool story actually. I had the dream of going into advertising, going into business, and around my junior year in high school, playing basketball, ended up tearing my ACL, my MCL, and 2 sides of my meniscus.
I remember that.
Yep, kind of destroyed all the ligaments in my knee, went through surgery, went through physical therapy, went through rehab, and it was in sport performance training when I realized, you know, this is kind of cool. I had an amazing trainer who mentored me spiritually, physically, all the things, and made such an impact in my life that I switched gears and decided to study physical therapy and sport performance training.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so here you are, you're the owner of your own company.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Move Functional Training, I went on my own in 2020, essentially had the heart to train any individual that is not healthy. So whether they have some sort of underlying condition or injury, they would be a good candidate to work with me. So
that's awesome. You're doing that, but you're also coaching soccer players?
Soccer players, lacrosse, basketball, swimmers, gymnasts, cheerleaders, you name it. Anyone who is not healthy or had an individual or just wants to get better at their sport can see me.
So am I your first racing driver?
First racing driver, and I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah, and I'm taking a real liberty because sometimes I wonder if I'm a real racing driver. So when we first started talking, I had done a video about, well, on Father's Day. Should be a good day. It's Father's Day. It's hot. It's humid. Where we were out trying to race, and it was about 105 degrees, and I was gassed.
Yeah, ouch.
Ouch. It was tough because with the driving suit, and that was 105 ambient. I will be flat out tell you, between the heat and the G-forces that you pull on this little track, wow. So I came to you and I said, hey, Brenna, look, I need a nutrition strategy and I need a hydration strategy. And you set me straight and said, yeah, but it's going to have to be more than that. It's all about the total package. And so the first two things that you did was you said, I want you to get a polar watch and strap and get the app on your phone. And then the second thing you said was, I want you to go get a body scan, which I have to tell you was more than just a little bit intimidating when you were first telling me about it.
Right.
I didn't like the sound of that. It turned out it wasn't so bad. Tell me a little bit about the strap and then the reasoning behind the scan.
Yeah, so heart rate monitors are a great way to keep track of stats. And from my research and understanding, drivers will use different biometric devices to map heart rates, stress, body temperature, or even oxygen consumption. So the reason why we went with the Polar H10 heart rate monitor chest strap, lots of words.
Yeah, say that 3 times.
Is because chest straps ultimately are extremely accurate, especially when compared to a watch or an armband. How they work is every time the heart beats, the electrical impulses are picked up by the electrodes in the chest strap, basically, and sends that information and data to the app that we're using or whatever device is connected. So that information gives us a pretty good idea on fitness level, performance level, and how we can make some improvements.
Good. Just for the viewers to know, that app is unbelievable. There's like, I don't know, maybe 100 different kind of sports and activities to choose from. Believe it or not, driving race cars is one of the activities that you can select in that app. And I was blown away. And so I've been using that. Now, the next question then becomes, can I send you that data so that you can just look at it on your phone?
Yeah, absolutely. You can share your data with any other app users or just text it or email it to me, which is especially cool that you mentioned the race car setting on there. Is super fascinating because on average, drivers end up having their heart rate around 120 to 150 beats per minute for several hours. So when you compare that to runners, it's really no different. And so what that should tell us is that drivers need to be in excellent cardiovascular fitness in order to perform.
Yep, I believe it. Ever since that race, I've upped the amount of time that I'm spending on the stair climber every day. And it's just like, it's killing me.
It's motivating.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going through that again. I did the scan.
Yes.
Generally speaking, I even hate to go here. I mean, it's just, how bad is it? Let's go with that.
Yes, body composition tests can be humbling, but that's why we do them, especially the DEXA scan, which is what we had you do. DEXA stands for Dual Energy X-ray Absorptiometry, which is a fancy word of saying it's a medical image test. It's excellent for analyzing lean muscle tissue, fat tissue, bone mineral density, and RMR, meaning how many calories the body burns at rest. And so we do this to get a good overlook of what changes need to be made for the athlete. It allows me to look at any sort of muscular imbalances from left to right side. If the athlete does need to lose body fat, which for race car drivers, we want to maintain a lower body fat percentage while maintaining lean muscle tissue. So overall, it's a good indicator of your overall health and fitness and where we need to start our training.